Survival is a state of constant tension. Adavn. A small sparrow stands alone on a barren branch. The sky is pale. The forest is quiet. The world looks peaceful from a distance. But for the bird, peace is never guaranteed. Its heart beats fast inside its chest. Its eye flickers. Its head turns sharply from side to side, scanning the grass, the trees, the sky, the shadows. Every movement could be harmless. Every movement could be the end. To be small is to be hunted. And to be hunted is to live inside a nervous system that never fully shuts down. A shadow passes over the grass. The sparrow freezes. A shadow is never just a shadow. It could be a cloud. It could be a leaf. It could be the shape of death moving across the ground. Then comes the alarm call. Sharp, sudden, urgent. A scream from the nervous system. In less than a second, the branches empty. A dozen small birds vanish into the thicket. Wings blur. Leaves shake. The open world becomes dangerous. And the safest place is anywhere the predator cannot easily reach. This is the weight of the sky. For small birds, danger does not only come from the ground, it comes from above. Hawks circle like silent questions. Owls wait in dim branches. Cats climb low fences. Snakes move through dry leaves. Glass windows become invisible walls. Storms turn the sky itself into a threat. The bird must watch everything. The rustle beneath the leaves. The flash of wings overhead. The paw beneath the branch. The sudden crack of a twig. The distant shape moving where nothing should move. Vigilance is the price of life. A robin cocks its head to listen. Sound becomes a map of danger. The ground speaks through vibration. The leaves whisper warning. A falling leaf makes the bird jump, because in the wild, the line between caution and paranoia is thin. React too late, and you die. React too often, and you waste the energy you need to live. That is the cruel mathematics of anxiety. Every false alarm costs something. Every missed alarm costs everything. This is why some birds sleep with one eye open. Half the brain can rest while the other half remains alert. One side drifts into sleep. The other watches the world. The mind never truly disappears. Even rest becomes strategy. A bird on the edge of a flock may keep the outer eye open, scanning the exposed side while the birds in the center sleep more deeply. Safety is shared. Vulnerability is arranged. Sleep becomes a negotiation with danger. The hunted do not simply sleep. They take turns trusting the dark. But fear is not always passive. Sometimes, fear becomes aggression. A small owl sits quietly in a tree, trying to remain hidden. Then chickadees and songbirds discover it. One call becomes many. The forest erupts. Tiny bodies dive bomb the predator's head. They scream, strike, circle, and harass. The owl blinks, overwhelmed. This is mobbing. Turning the tables on fear. A small bird cannot defeat an owl in a private fight, but together, the flock becomes a weapon. They expose the predator. They deny its surprise. They transform hidden danger into public information. Safety through collective harassment. The owl loses its secrecy, and secrecy is half its power. This is the first rule of the alarm network. A predator seen by many eyes is less dangerous than a predator seen by one. Across the forest, signals travel faster than wings. Chickadees call. Nuthatches listen. Squirrels freeze. Deer lift their heads. A woodpecker stops drumming. A crow shouts from the treetop. The forest becomes a living alert system. One species detects danger. Another species uses the information. The air fills with coded urgency. Some calls even carry detail. A chickadee alarm can change in intensity depending on the threat. More urgent calls. More repeated notes. More pressure in the sound. The message is not simply danger. It is danger level rising. The language of the urgent and other animals understand enough to react. A Cooper's hawk lands on a branch, and the forest goes silent. A nuthatch presses itself against bark, becoming part of the tree. A bird hides inside a hollow trunk, waiting for the shadow to pass. The hawk scans the branches, but it meets a wall of eyes and a wall of stillness. Intelligence defeats power. Eventually, the hawk leaves. Then, slowly, life returns. A soft whistle. A cautious movement. One bird emerges from the hedge. Then another. The forest exhales. But alarm systems can also be exploited. A blue jay mimics the call of a hawk. Small birds scatter. For a few seconds, the feeder is empty. Then the jay swoops in and steals a peanut. This is the false alarm. Anxiety becomes opportunity. One bird weaponizes the fear of others. In the wild, even information can be stolen. Even fear can be hacked. Bird life is filled with these tensions. At a feeder, eating is risky because the open space exposes the body. A bird lands, grabs one seed, looks over its shoulder, and flies away. It may repeat this dozens of times, trading hunger against danger. Food is never just food. Food is a decision. At a puddle, birds gather to bathe. Water cleans feathers, removes parasites, and keeps the body in good condition. But bathing is vulnerable. Wet feathers can reduce flight efficiency. Focus shifts inward. The body is exposed. So one bird watches while the others wash. Shared vigilance. A chirp from the guard, and every bird launches at once. Instant response to data. This is how the small survive, not by being fearless, but by making fear useful. Yet fear leaves marks. A bird trembles in the shadows after a near miss. A discarded tail feather lies in the dirt. A cat's paw missed by inches. The bird escaped, but the body remembers. Adrenaline saves life, but it also burns it. Some stressed birds groom excessively, preening and picking at feathers until bare patches appear. This is displacement behavior, stress turned into motion. The mind cannot flee. So the body performs another action. The bird cleans the fear from its feathers. But the fear remains underneath. The physical toll of worry. Survival is not free. A life lived on alert carries a cost. Nowhere is this clearer than at the nest. A mother bird sits still on eggs, hidden among grass, bark, thorns, or leaves. Her body becomes camouflage. Her breathing slows. Her eye watches everything. She is guarding the future. But the future makes her vulnerable. A nest is a target. Eggs cannot run. Chicks cannot hide. Their hunger is loud. Their bodies soft. Their scent dangerous. The parent becomes the sentinel. A snake climbs the trunk. The mother waits. Too early, and the nest is exposed. Too late, and the eggs are lost. The bird holds the line until the final second, then flies off in a deliberate distraction. Some birds perform a broken wing display, fluttering on the ground as if injured, leading the predator away from the nest. The predator follows the lie. The eggs survive. Victory through deception. This is not weakness. This is strategy under terror. A small bird has no fangs, no claws strong enough to fight a snake directly, no ammo. So it uses performance. It uses timing. It turns itself into a false target. The parent offers fear a body to chase, then escapes. At the nest, every visitor is a possible enemy. A cuckoo may leave a hidden egg. A squirrel may try to steal. A crow may wait patiently from a nearby branch. A wasp may enter. A dog may sniff the grass below. A human hand may reach into a mailbox where a bird has built a home. The sentinel does not care about size. It attacks anyway. A bird dive bombs a dog. A mother pecks a squirrel's nose. A nesting bird bites a human finger. A tiny defender becomes fearless because the nest contains everything that matters. Fear becomes fury. The small become enormous when the future is behind them. Rain brings another test. A heavy storm hits the nest. Water drips from leaves. The wind shakes the branches. Chicks huddle under the mother's chest. She spreads her wings like an umbrella, becoming a living shield. Cold water runs down her beak. Her feathers soak. Still, she stays. This is the tenderness inside vigilance. The sentinel is not only watching for death. The sentinel is keeping life warm. Then a hawk lands nearby in the rain. The mother bird goes completely still, becoming a knot in the wood. The hawk scans. The storm continues. The chicks stay silent beneath her. No movement. No sound. No mistake. Eventually, the hawk leaves. The sun returns. Steam rises from wet feathers. The relief of the light. And the work begins again. Broken eggshells must be removed from the nest and dropped far away. Because white shell fragments can reveal the location of new life. Some birds may use snake skin, thorny branches, or dangerous materials in nest construction, turning fear itself into a shield. A predator sees the sign of another predator and hesitates. Psychological warfare. A nest is not just a home. It is a defensive strategy. But the modern world creates new forms of anxiety. A bird strikes glass because it sees sky where there is a wall. The impact is chaos. A person gently picks up the stunned bird. But to the bird, this is the terror of the giant's touch. The beak opens. The body pants. The heart beats at the limit. Human presence is a double-edged sword. We provide feeders, nest boxes, gardens, ledges, rooftops, fountains, and crumbs. But we also bring cats, windows, wires, traffic, machines, lights, pollution, and noise. Birds adapt because they must. A pigeon navigates a crowded sidewalk, dodging feet timed to the millisecond. A sparrow dust bathes in a city park, while one bird watches the cat nearby. A bird nests in a traffic light, finding safety inside human noise. Another perches on a high-voltage sign, unfazed by the irony of the perch. The city becomes a new forest. The security camera becomes a branch. The mailbox becomes a hollow tree. The train station becomes an iron canyon. But the predators adapt too. A falcon sits on a skyscraper, the apex of the urban shadow. Below, pigeons move through the streets. The falcon dives. The sky tightens. Anxiety ends suddenly for one bird and continues for the rest. The cycle remains. Only the landscape has changed. In the desert, heat becomes the enemy. A bird pants under the sun, standing in the narrow shadow of a cactus. A hawk circles through heat waves like a mirage of death. A single drop of dew becomes treasure. The economy of life. In the mountains, cold becomes the enemy. A bird huddles into its feathers, conserving the core. A mountain lion walks in the background. The bird remains perfectly still. A stone among stones. In fire, smoke fills the sky and birds flee in mass exodus. The ultimate anxiety is not a predator with claws, but the world itself burning. Yet after the flame, a single bird lands on a charred branch. A green sprout appears in the ash. Life sustains life. The sentinel returns. This is the deepest truth of bird anxiety. Fear is not the opposite of life. Fear is one of life's oldest tools. It sharpens attention. It builds networks. It teaches caution. It protects nests. It organizes flocks. It turns small bodies into survivors. But fear must not become the whole story. Because birds are not only nervous, they are also curious. A bird looks at its own shadow. It tilts its head. It studies the shape that follows. It looks into a camera lens, recognizing another presence. It gives a soft chirp, a bridge of sound between fear and trust. Intelligence beyond fear. For one brief moment, the watcher is watched. A child sees the bird from a window. The bird lands on the windowsill. The child smiles. The distance between species softens. The sentinel, always prepared to flee, chooses to stay for 1 second longer. That second matters. It is a small piece in a world built from alarms. Across the planet, birds form a global network of sentinels. Their calls, migrations, songs, warnings, and silences tell us the condition of the world. When the forest goes quiet, something is wrong. When birds return to a burned place, life is returning. When they sing at dawn, the day begins again. A planet of sentinels. A world of watchers. Every bird carries the lens of 1,000,000 years. In its eye, the whole forest reflects. In its blink, there is panic and pause. In its flight, there is escape. In its song, there is survival transformed into music. To be afraid is to be alive. But to keep singing anyway, that is something more. A bird sings in a quiet graveyard. Life among the echoes. Sunlight hits its chest. The fire is still burning. The sentinel's anthem rises into the morning air, loud and clear. Not because the world is safe, not because the shadows are gone, but because life has made it through another night. A single feather floats down and lands on the water. The ripples spread. The shadow remains. But so does the song.